Ali Mogharabi is with us, Senior Equity Analyst at West End Capital Management. Dan Crowley, Portfolio Manager, Nightview Capital. So how are we feeling as we see this stock right now at 680, 687, up over 10 bucks? Ali, I'll start with you. Your thoughts?
It was obviously an excellent quarter, easily beat on the top and bottom line. What we'd like to see is not only just user growth, but also in terms of, what indications for ad demand, right? And also how long users are actually spending their time. So when you see the prices of the ads go up, and at the same time that ad inventory also go up, those are two very, very positive indications. And in terms of CapEx going forward, I mean, these guys are very unique compared to the other hyperscalers, right? They don't necessarily have to answer the question whether their AI spending is actually resulting in higher revenue. It is. Their ads are becoming more effective. The advertisers are spending more on that platform. So that monetization question is easily answered. And at the same time, they do have that open source tool, the LLM, the Llama LLM, that obviously it looks like since it's open source, a lot of developers have adapted to it and are actually utilizing it. So across the board, by the way, I forgot to mention that they burnt actually less cash on the lab side. So across the board, we thought it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, a lot of confidence there. Dan, how about you?
Yeah, I think to echo, strong quarter. Obviously, the existing business line is doing incredibly well. And as we look at where these CapEx investments are going, you need to be able to monetize these investments. I think they've intelligently, gone with the open source model, and they've invested heavily to kind of propel that out of its infancy. So when we look at kind of the first profitability that we're going to see from this AI leg, it's going to be existing platforms that have distribution and existing monetization strategies. So for Meta, obviously, that's advertising. And we've already seen the flow through far faster than some of the other companies that we've seen report. So great quarter. And yeah, the existing business line is doing great. And then, they're using that cash flow to kind of propel them to the next wave of growth.
When they talk about AI and the fluctuations that we've seen in the likes of NVIDIA and some of the other names, there was a feeling that Meta is so well positioned, Dan. Are you in that camp? Because it's actually, one guest said it's the real deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have 3 billion people now using their products on some level on a daily basis. And they've been able to leverage that existing platform, their existing user base, for their AI models. And so, they're quickly going to scale, and these are not, 5 million people, these are very large numbers of people using their products, engaging with it. They're getting data. They have some of the best data of, any of the companies out there as well. So they're, basically, if anyone, they're maybe doing the most seamless blend of the existing product line in the next wave of growth.
Look, there's also concern. I'll play devil's advocate. I've had people who come on and say, MySpace came and went, and there's different kinds of, will Facebook and Instagram come and go? Is Meta all that? And you can answer that, Ali. I know you have other names and other topics that you can also hit on as possible winners. It sounds like you certainly believe Meta's a winner. And what others?
Well, yes, Meta is certainly the winner on that front, on the social platform front, on the overall advertising platform front. They've got what's referred to as that very, very strong network effect, and it's just it's noticeable along all of their platforms. Whether you're talking about Facebook or Instagram, so they've done a very, very good job on that. And then the other names that you asked are actually on the chip side. I don't know if you noticed, but on the call, Zuckerberg and just overall management, they talked about, going forward, focusing a little bit more on customized chips. So that brings about Broadcom. They're working pretty closely with Broadcom. So I think that's very positive. Other ASICs players out there include Marvell Technologies. So I think those two names are also becoming slightly more attractive. As you see, it's not necessarily a complete shift, but as you see that demand for chips remains strong on the AI space, but are maybe transitioning a little bit, maybe demand on the specialized or customized chips are increasing at a faster rate than, let's say, the general ones, the GPUs. So those two names also are pretty attractive for us.
Yeah,
and have
look,
done well.
I mean, I pulled up Broadcom because I know on Monday with DeepSeek it got hit hard. Still down over 11% this week. So maybe you're thinking that names like Broadcom and Marvell are buys. Marvell for the week right now is also to the downside. So that is down about over 10%. Are those buys today, Ali?
Well, they've been, we've been in those names for a while, so we consider them. We still think that they're very, very attractive. They perform well, in our portfolio, but we still think they have further upside. Again, we're sensing that transition in terms of whether it's hyperscalers or enterprises going from the training side of AI to the inference. And when you're transitioning there, possibly the demand for more customized chips actually increase rather than the GPUs that we've seen during the past couple of years on the training side. So those are some of the reasons why we think Broadcom and Marvell are pretty attractive.
Yeah, and Dan, there are some people who were saying, look, the Meta glasses are not all that. I don't know. I mean, we talk about AR and VR investments and the money that they have on hand with cash flow and all that. Final quick thought here, Dan.
Yeah, on the Reality Labs side, obviously Meta has been working for a long time to kind of bust out of the closed ecosystem that Apple has them in. And I don't think anyone outside of Zuck could have kept propelling the project in these investments. So for us, we look at that as a long-term kind of lottery ticket potentially. We haven't seen any real dramatic shift in a computing platform since basically the iPhone in 2007. They're making progress, and especially on the AR side, we think that that could be promising down the road. And if it does pay off, it'll pay off tremendously, and then they'll have access to their own ecosystem.
And Ali, last word.
Just overall, again, very impressed with Meta. One thing I should say that the only other thing that caught my eye was that their guidance for Q1, that revenue was a little bit below consensus. The midpoint of that range was a little bit below consensus, but I would say that's probably because they're still trying to get the sense of the advertisers' reaction to their more relaxed content policies. But I think if it is a -1, it'll be only short term, and the advertisers will again jump on those two platforms, given the fact that they've generated some very, very good ROI for the advertisers over the years.
All right, Ali Mogharabi of West End Capital Management, Dan Crowley, Night View Capital. Thank you both. Good to see you.